All right, here we go. So good morning or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. This is Mr. Collazo, and today we are going to talk about, like it says up here, we're going to be talking about how to find slope from a table and the x and y intercepts. So y'all should have gone over how to find slope from a table yesterday, and today we're just kind of following it up and adding a couple new twists. So if you remember, we find the slope from a table using kind of the guide, change over y over change over x. So first we're going to start by finding the change over y. So from 8 to 4, right, I subtract 4, right, I go 4 down. From 4 to 0, I subtract 4, and from 0 to negative 4, I subtract 4, okay? So change of y, we see, is negative 4, okay? Change of x, from negative 2 to 0, I am adding 2. From 0 to 2, we add 2. From 2 to 4, I'm adding 2. So my change of x, as y'all can see, is a positive 2, okay? So I have negative 4 over 2 as my slope, but we can reduce that. So negative 4 over 2, if you put that in your calculator, or you just know, that reduces to negative 2. So the slope of this table is negative 2, okay? So that should be kind of a review. Y'all should have gone over that yesterday. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the y-intercept, okay? So if y'all remember from, I think, a couple days ago, we learned that the y-intercept is always like this. It's in the form 0, comma, some y value, okay? So what we're going to be looking for in these tables is where my x value is 0, okay? So looking at this table in number 1, right, I see right here, I have an x value of 0 and a y value of 4. So that means my y-intercept for this table is going to be the ordered pair 0, comma, 4. All right, it's that easy. So if you're looking for the y-intercept, you look for when your x is 0, okay? Now, the x-intercept. So again, we should have talked about that a couple days ago. We learned that the x-intercept is in the form some x value, comma, 0, okay? So now on the table, we're looking for a 0 in the y value. So if we look at this table, boom, I see it. I have a 0 in the y, so that ordered pair for my x-intercept is 2, comma, 0. Easy, nothing to it. You just gotta find the zeros, okay? So that's number 1. Let's slide over to number 2. So again, let's find our change in y over change of x's first so we can get the slope. So from 4 to 3, I go down 1, so minus 1. From 3 to 2, minus 1, minus 1, right? We're all good there. On my x's, from negative 4 to negative 2, I'm adding 2. Negative 2 to 0, adding 2. 0 to 2, adding 2, okay? So slope, we put it all together. Change of y, negative 1, over change of x, positive 2, right? Can't reduce that. My slope is negative 1/2, right? Easy, okay? Now for the y-intercept. So again, if you remember from that first example, we're looking for our 0 in the x value. So if I look at my x's, I see a 0, right? There it is. So my y-intercept is the point 0, comma, 2. Okay, easy. Now for the x-intercept, okay? So now we're looking for an is 0 in the y value. But if you look, when I look at my y's, I have 4, 3, 2, and 1. I don't have a 0 in the x value. In the y value, okay? So what that tells me is that the x-intercept cannot be determined, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that there is not an x-intercept. It just means for now that we can't see it on this table, okay? Eventually, we're gonna learn ways to where we can find the things that can't be determined, okay? But for now, we're just looking at the table. So for now, there is no x-intercept on the table, so it cannot be determined, okay? Number 3. Again, let's start with the slope. So change of y over change of x. We'll start to go a little quicker. Negative 3 to 0, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. Change of y is plus 3. Change of x, 1 to 2, that's an easy one, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So change of y over change of x, I have 3 over 1, which reduces to, y'all should know that one, just a regular positive 3. So the slope of this table is 3. Pretty easy slope. Now, the y-intercept, right, we are looking for when our x value is 0. But again, when we look at our x's, right, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. No 0. So just like the x-intercept here, it cannot be determined on this table. So cannot be determined. Okay, and again, I want to stress that does not mean there is not a y-intercept. It just means that on this table, we cannot see it. Okay, that's all it means. Not that there is not one. Okay, x-intercept though. I'm looking for when my y is 0. So I look at my y-axis. Look at that. My y is 0 right there. So my x-intercept is the point 2, 0. Easy. Last one, number 4. So number 4, again, let's do the slope. So -1 to 0 plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Change of y is plus 1. On the x's, -2 to 0, well, that's plus 2. We adding 2 here, and we're adding 2 here. So the change of y, 1 over the change of x, 2. Can't reduce that. Slope is 1/2. Okay? Now, the y-intercept. So I'm looking for when my x is 0. So I look at my x's right there, right? And look at that. The y-intercept is 0, 0. Okay? Now for the x-intercept, right? We look for when the y is 0. Well, that just happens to be the same point. So my x-intercept is also 0, 0. And that's right. That's all. It's the same point. Okay? It's at the 0, 0. It's the origin. Okay? So that's it. And that's all there is to it, to finding slope from a table and the x and y intercepts. Okay? So that's all for this video. If you have any questions, you can ask your teacher. But if not, y'all have a great day.